With the latest episode of Blue Lock, I will have to say, it's not as egregious as it has been previously as far as graphic-wise. This episode definitely didn't feel like there was multiple times where I'm sitting there like, oh, really? Come on now. I like a PowerPoint presentation of some sort. It felt a little bit better. There was, to me, in different aspects, a little bit more movement. It's not to the point that it was last season, but it has gotten better. So, leaving that aside, here we are with Reo and Nagi reunited, and Reo, of course, taking it on the chin that Nagi just left him by his wayside, which their whole relationship and dynamic, I'm actually glad that Nagi did that in the previous season, because Reo was at first like a manipulating guy that was like using Nagi to get where he wanted. And then Nagi just after a while was like, look, I want to be the best. And if I want to be the best, I can't be with you. I'm not your underling. So that left Reo by the wayside. So this episode definitely was one where Rio's like, okay, I gotta step up. And now that he's finally reunited with Nagi, he's trying to find that answer. It's like, what could I do to step up to get to the point where Nagi is now? And he found that in the use of the Chameleon. So I was actually pushing for Reo to actually find something in himself. Like, I don't see Reo as like the main character like Isagi is, but you know, I kind of feel for him. He's like, you know what? He has his friend, his best friend in this case. He finds out he's like a soccer protege. And as Rio's been excelling at almost anything you can think of, and his parents are rich, and the fact that he was looking back on the fact that he could literally leave Blue Lock and still be successful. Like, he doesn't need to have Blue Lock, but this is his passion. This is what he wants. So once he threw that all away and was like, no, that is going to be a boring life for me. So thus he's like, I got to break through. And he does. He realizes that, yeah, I'm skilled at almost everything. It's like, instead of being a jack of all trades, let me be a master of all trades. So it's like, okay, I see you manifesting here. And I love how Isagi was like, yeah, that's great, but it's not going to be as good as the actual person that does it. But it's a start, and it really is, truly. Reo was able to find what he could be good at, what he could excel at, and then it's like, okay, all right, well, this is what I want, this is what I could be, let me work on it. And that's the reason why they have that chat at the end where he's sitting there like, okay, all right, Nagi, you're ahead of me. I respect the fact that you're ahead of me, but I will grow and be the one that you are going to chase after. So respect to him that he has a goal, he has aspiration, and he did the best he could. And I believe he did a pretty good showing to where like even he would be selected. Like Isagi, like for sure is in. And I think him being here, that he probably would be selected as well to go against Japan's U20. I don't know how many more episodes they're gonna be before that comes up. Like maybe like how this episode, they started off with analysis of Isagi and his moves, which I'm glad they actually did that. And then they went all over to Reo. So I'm wondering if next episode, if they're gonna skim over a few other characters and then finally get into who's selected for the battle against U20. I was impressed by the analysis of Tetris, like the way that he came up and was like, you know, like in the beginning, like Tetris is all slow, but then after it gets super quick, you have to adapt and you don't have that much time to think about your moves. You look at the piece you got, you look at the next piece, and you just go for it. And as a gamer, I'm like, you know, that was the best example he could have brought out. And I love the fact now they're now showing the Tetris pieces. Like before, you know, we have puzzle pieces, now we have Tetris pieces. It's like, okay, all right. Even Asagi was like, wow, that was a great comparison. Because it was. It's like, oh, I got it. I completely understand where he's coming from. Yeah, you can't really think about your moves. You just have to go for it. And hopefully this will push Asagi, who has some other things in his book of skills that he could utilize even further in the future. And it's crazy how Sai goes up against the chairman and is like, hey, yeah, this is not gonna work and we need to get rid of everyone on the team because the Japanese team actually is pretty sorry. And then he's like, hey, but there is someone from Blue Lock I want to be teamed up with, which I'm like, can he do that for real? Like, if it's someone inside Blue Lock, is that fair because they are actually part of the Blue Lock team? Or is it someone that he's that's been kicked out of Blue Lock previously, which could make sense that previously there was like people that was kicked out and then they were in Blue Lock, they're not in Blue Lock anymore, so then they still have skills, but so they could join the Japanese team to fight against the people that have Blue Lock like they've had previously. We shall see what he decides, what he chooses, but overall, great series. I think the story of Blue Lock is still very, very good. Even though that right now they're having issues with the graphics, which is such a pain. I can't believe that this is actually an issue because season 1 was so good. The graphics of it, the story, everything was really good. The fact that this just got hampered this season, it's like, come on. We need to pick up the pace. And I feel for the animators because there definitely was something going on to be an issue in this regard, but it sucks that such a great show and a great anime could have a weakness that is the graphics capabilities when that shouldn't even be the case. This should be the forefront, like, oh, that's knocked out, the graphics is great, let's go into the story and break it down. But no, we gotta sit here and talk about how the graphics could be better when it was good in the first season. I digress, but tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. But make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you haven't already, because I love to hear what you guys have to say about things. But of course, the reactions are always on Patreon. The link is down below. Definitely check that out, and I'd love to see you guys around there as well. In the meantime, you guys be safe. Take care, and Lord willing, I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.